Welcome back everybody to another sharpening tutorial. Today I am going to be sharpening this Gavko. And this is a S35VN on this blade from Gavko knives, and it's one that I saw and thought, dang, that's just a sweet looking knife, I gotta have it. And so picked it up recently here. So let's put it on and get it sharpened. Alright, so how do we sharpen the Gavko Thresher? So pull the clamp out and clamp the knife on, and that's the first thing we've got to look at. Now, one of the things you don't have to worry about with this, this has got a nice black coating on the blade. The Viper Sharp has rubber pads on there, very thin rubber. I'm actually assembling some over here, getting them ready to assemble today. And so it's not going to damage the blade. And when you put that on, you want to have a position that is going to give a similar angle or the same angle from tip to heel. With a simple sweep on the blade like that, we want to be right between, basically a straight line between heel and tip of the blade, more or less. A short blade like this, it isn't going to matter too much. Different blades will require slightly different positioning. And so watch some of my other videos to see some insights on positioning your blade with other types of knives. And if you have one that you want me to do, drop a comment in the comments there and let me know. So we start this by just applying a little bit of marker to the edge. And this will let us know where we need to be with our angle. Because here, I can take just a real light sweep with a 1200 stone, which is what I've got on here. And then look at that to see where I'm taking things off and if I need to adjust it or change that. And it looks like, on this one, it looks like from about here through the belly I'm getting to the edge, but then out here on the tip and back at the heel it's not going all the way to the edge. And so I'm going to adjust the positioning a little bit. So my first thought on this goes against what a lot of people think, but taking that tip back a little bit oftentimes seems to correct that and get your angle where it needs to be. So I'm going to carefully take a rag on that. This knife is sharp. I'm just going to refine it a little bit. And I'm seeing that there's a potential of hitting that right there, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to put some tape on it. And maybe if I put that mic up on my shirt, it might sound a little better. So just to kind of protect that, and I'm going to just put a couple pieces on there. To try and give that some protection. And then of course the other side of it is just be careful with where you're sharpening and pay attention. All right, let's pull over the other stones. I really don't think I need to do a 250 on that. We're going to go with a 600. I used this yesterday, so we'll clean it off a bit here first. There we are. And then get to work. And my first job here, the first thing I want to do is create a burr all the way along from heel to tip on that blade, because then I know I'm apexing. And what that apex does is not only tell me that I'm getting to the edge of things there, but it also refines that edge so that I have the same angle all the way along. And we're starting to get there. I'm going to go ahead and flip it and do the other side, and we'll just do a little back and forth on this. And of course then I lost my tape. Not the stickiest tape to protect that, so I'll just have to be real careful. Pay attention to what I'm doing here. And as I do this, I am refining that, reprofiling really that edge, giving it a new edge compared to what was there from the factory. And this Gavko has done a great job. This knife is not near as bad with the edge as I've seen with many factory knives, where there's a very different angle between the from heel to tip. Usually either on the heel or on the tip, there's quite a difference. Probably pushing on this more than I need to. Try not to give too much pressure on the stone. Let the stone do the work. There, we got a good burr all the way back. Not quite right at that heel, because I'm so nervous about scraping the coating off of the scales there. So I haven't worked as much on that back edge. I don't always worry about that myself. If I've got a knife, it's to be used. It's not just for show, but it's a beautiful knife. I want to keep it pretty. The one thing I don't like about this knife, I really like a flipper. And this one doesn't flip open. But I sure like that blade shape. Okay, so now we've created a burr on both sides. We've apexed the edge. So we can move up from the 600 to the 1200 and refine that a little bit. Once again, I've used this 1200 recently, so I'm sure I've got a lot of metal trapped on there, so we're going to wipe that down. Clean that out. And then we're just moving against the blade. What I mean by that is this direction and then along the blade. These refining strokes are just going to remove the fine burrs, remove any small serrations and pieces, and just clean up that edge real good. Alright, and then one of the beauties of having a removable clamp is we can go and test it during the process without losing our angle. And I think that's me holding the paper rather than the blade, honestly. It seems to be cutting all the way through, and that's what you want to test, is go from heel all the way to tip. And if there's anything wrong with it, if there's something that isn't, if there's a part of the blade that isn't sharp, or where you have a chip in the blade or something, it'll catch and you'll feel it. And so going along the whole blade is really important, not just a push cut in the middle of the blade, because that's only telling you that it's sharp there. So something to think about. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate you coming by. Head on over to vipersharp.com and you can get yourself a Viper Sharp. Or if you're in Utah and you'd like to check it out in person, you can contact me or head on up to Timber Knives in Heber, Utah. Thanks for watching.